Hi everyone, this is Christy, the Skeptic Medium. I just wanted to share some recent revelation. Actually, I got it last night concerning Donald Trump. Just to give you a history about Donald Trump. When I first heard that he was running for president is when I first asked Spirit, is he going to come in? And they surprisingly said yes, he would. And they said it would be for the benefit of the world, that this was definitely a spiritually chosen leader. And I asked why, and they said because he's got to build the wall. And the other thing was that he was going to swing the world back to the right. Now, for those of you who don't know politics, we have the left and the right, the left being the liberals and the right being the conservatives. And neither one is good or bad, except if they start to become extreme. And what was happening in the world is that the left was becoming extreme. So in politics, the left are the ones that want change, revolutionary, want to change the world, and let go of old ways and values, and make the world more inclusive. And that's not a bad thing. But in the extreme, it starts to become a case of basically communism, which doesn't work. The idea of communal living doesn't work, even though we've tried it. It's a great ideological idea, but it never works in reality. And also the political correctness has gotten out of hand. It's gotten to a point where we're being censored horribly if we dare to go against anything that they're doing. This also happens on the right. It happens both sides. Under any extreme circumstances, this is what happens. So, on the right we have family values, good old-fashioned values, conserving the good parts of our society, having strict rules and regulations, whereas the right is much more into freedom. The left is much more into freedom. And this is, just hang on a sec, my cat is meowing at me. Okay. My cat has got a mouse in my house. Okay, so let me just try to get back to this. So the right, we're swinging back to the right, and that's what Donald Trump had to do. I have always been aware that Donald Trump is a bit of a megalomaniac, probably quite narcissistic, and that this isn't the worst thing either. And the reason being is that it takes one to know one. He was taking on something where he knew these people, he knew what they were about, and that was actually important, that he had lived amongst them and he knows how the system works, and that's how he could fight it. So I've been becoming very disillusioned with Trump because of especially his push on the vaccines, and his push on a vaccine that is not tested, that is not proven, and really could be a risk to people. And this is what caused me to be very concerned about him. And I've been contemplating this, and also that that all these predictions that he's going to come back, and he's going to, there's the Insurrection Act, and he's going to sort things out, and he's going to drain the swamp, which hasn't happened. We are now sitting with a leader in America who I really am afraid of. I really think this is a terrible disaster what is going on there. It's a terrible disaster for freedom of speech. It's a disaster for allowing countries like China to take more control of the world. Biden doesn't seem to have all his mental faculties in place, so it's a very, very worrying thing that is happening there. So asking about what is happening with Trump, this is what they told me last night. He has taken poor spiritual advice. Somebody that he's been spiritually advised by, and it feels to me like Israel. It also has a feeling of sort of like alien, or a feeling of some kind of mystical being that is not human somehow. And he's been taking this advice, and he has been advised poorly. It feels as though he's been promised that he would be the Messiah and that he's going to prevail no matter what. And it feels as though he was bamboozled. He's been lied to, and he was fooled. And for Trump, this would be a very difficult thing to accept, because he prides himself on being the most smart man in the world, and he is a very smart man. So when you look at history, Hitler did a similar thing. He consulted with the occultic. He was obviously told that he was going to rule the world, he was going to succeed, Germany would become the world power, and that failed horribly. somehow the same thing has happened to Trump. A similar thing has happened to him. And I would also remind you that I told you when we were all waiting for the election that I asked, will Trump prevail? And they said Trump will not prevail. The people will prevail. So it will be the people of the earth that are going to rise up and stand their ground and stand for their rights and freedoms in the end. I don't think that people are yet aware just how hard they're going to have to fight for this. It is coming. The great and terrible things are coming. So there's a little bit about what is happening with Trump, and I remain the same in the things that I have seen concerning the bombs that are coming and the human rights violations being, human rights being trampled on. And, we can even look back over the last year and how perhaps a year ago we were all fighting over black and white and religion and so on. And we're all starting to realize that there is a bigger picture here and that our enemy is not each other. Our enemy is the elite, the psychopathic elite. Those are the people who are taking us down and who have no respect or concern for human rights. And we do need to stand together. That is our only hope. We have to stop judging each other, stop throwing stones at each other, and start understanding that we all belong here. We all deserve to be here, and we all have a right to safety and freedom. Okay, that's me checking out for today.